Donald Trump won in 2024 in large part because he exploited people's real economic pain. He talked often about grocery prices, inflation, the cost of living. But what's really frustrating is that people believed that he would have a solution, that he would put working people first, that he even cared about people struggling. And now we're seeing in interviews in the run-up to his inauguration, he does not care. He never cared. And I can show you exactly where he told you that he does not care.
It's a very simple word, groceries. Like almost, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries.
A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper.
It'll also bring your grocery bill way down. I have more complaints on groceries. When you buy apples, when you buy bacon, when you buy eggs. Where the price of bacon, the price of lettuce, the price of tomatoes, bacon, lettuce, tomato, everything is so much higher than it ever was. We're going to bring those prices way down. Because people can't afford their groceries, and they're going to be affording their groceries very soon.
But in his Time Person of the Year interview, Donald Trump finally admits it's very hard to bring those prices down. He also said energy is going to bring costs down and a better supply chain. He's already promised to boost oil and gas production. But here's the thing to keep in mind. American energy production is already at an all-time high.
Unfortunately, there are many people who still believe that Trump is a populist, and I don't know where they get this idea from beyond campaign rhetoric, because everything that we've seen from him during his first term, and even in his multiple presidential campaigns, you've seen he cares more about corporations and billionaires than working people in this country. Gas prices have been one of the biggest pain points for working people in this country. But here's Trump bragging that he asked Russia and Saudi Arabia to limit the supply of oil to boost gas prices.
I had to save the oil companies. They were all going to go bust. I said, this is the first time I've ever said we got to get it up a little bit. I actually called Russia and the King of Saudi Arabia. We had a three-way call, and we cut back on the oil because it was so incredible. Helped fill up the strategic national reserves, and he's now taken all of that to reduce gasoline prices for cars just prior to the election, very artificially. And he's reduced it down to the lowest level that it's been in, I think, 60 years.
Does that sound like somebody who cares about working people in this country? Is that the policy of somebody who's worried about the cost of living? Or is that somebody who's putting the oil companies first? And then there is a clear admission that he has no interest or even knowledge of how to bring inflation down. To really tackle inflation, you would have to tackle corporate greed. But that is something Trump is unwilling to do because corporations are ultimately his friends and his top priority.
We will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down. It's too much. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. But prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down, and they'll come down fast. Not only with insurance, with everything. Tomorrow, I will end inflation. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. I will end inflation. End inflation. Slash your prices. To rapidly reduce inflation, I will end inflation very quickly. End inflation. Slash your prices. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. We're going to get your prices down.
He doesn't care about the cost of groceries. He doesn't care about rising prices. He sees what they're doing. He knows what they're doing. Any somewhat competent businessman can see that they are just raising prices and blaming the supply chain for having to do so. You can look at the corporate profits, how they have soared year over year, and recognize that this isn't rising costs. This is them just price gouging consumers. We're all paying more because these companies want to make more and more profit. And then there's the right-wing media ecosystem who's willing to justify this to no end.
Aren't you sick of a government run by politicians, professors, and economists? People with no real-life experience. They don't know how things work. This time is different. We're bringing in men and women who know how to create things from scratch and build stuff within a budget. And if they don't get results, get fired. This is the most real American cabinet the country's ever seen. Elon Musk says we're about to experience the most dramatic transformation since the nation's founding. What a lucky time to be alive.
They want you to distrust people who are clearly and accurately pointing out the problem. People like Jesse Waters, for instance, want you to have distrust in people with expertise in public administration or business or the economy. And now, as Trump assembles a cabinet full of loyalists, this is how Waters is trying to sell it. These aren't people who know how to build things from scratch. In some cases, these are people who shared an office with Jesse Waters. And many of these people being picked for Trump's cabinet are not being picked out of expertise or experience in their fields. They're being picked out of blind loyalty to Donald Trump. And you're putting people in these positions who have no business being there or overseeing different aspects of the federal bureaucracy. Meanwhile, they're going in with a hatchet. That's their plan, to totally gut and dismantle the federal government. That's in Project 2025. They told you what they wanted to do, and now they're going to do it. But there is no clearer example about how he does not care about the average working person or even the small business owner, the ones we hear so much about from the right. Because look at what Trump is trying to do to expedite development and investment in the United States.
I mean, Trump literally posted on Truth Social, any person or company investing $1 billion or more in the United States of America will receive fully expedited approvals and permits, including, but in no way limited to, all environmental approvals. Get ready to rock.
This specific proposal is just absolutely bonkers, right? Because what he's saying is you'll get regulatory breaks in this country, but only if you are a billionaire. If you are a mom and pop factory that wants to add on a new wing to hire more local workers, you don't get that deal from Trump. If you're a local housing developer and you want to build some more houses to lower the cost of mortgages in your community, you don't get that special deal. What he says with that social media post is billionaires get one set of rules. All the rest of us get a different set of rules. Like, how much more plainly could you make it?
You only qualify for this if you are investing $1 billion or more. What does that look like in the long run? It's going to be a mass concentration of wealth at the top, and even people who are trying to engage in the market get disadvantaged. All this does is benefit the most wealthy and corporations with the largest market share. You're essentially incentivizing monopolistic behavior. But what this ultimately is a government for and by the billionaire class. The net worth of Trump's proposed cabinet is the highest net worth of any cabinet in US history. This isn't a cabinet of the average working man. This is a cabinet of the ultra wealthy. And if you are still thinking that there is any part of Trump who is populist or cares about working people, ask yourself, do you see yourself represented in that?